All right, good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to do a video, more of an update. We haven't made a video since the 17th. It's now the 27th. So it's a Monday. Just got in. I haven't packed anything yet today. Wanted to go over some numbers, and then I want to give you guys an update on the store. It's been really busy. That's why I haven't been able to get any videos in. I've just been working on a lot of things. We're almost to the point where we're going to lock in a location, a warehouse location, 4,300 square feet. And so I got to kind of finalize that today. And I got to get my permit for my banner for the closing sign outside. So some good news this month. We're Once we posted everything in the Facebook and made our announcement, we started getting really busy. We're actually $85,000 month to date. There's some eBay sales that are not included in that, but yeah, we're 85,000 month to date. We're getting some healthy sales days. I think the lowest day that we've had since we announced was I think it was $3,700. So every day's been really good. And we still got a lot of inventory, but there was a lot of inventory that has left the building, and it still doesn't look like we are even close to emptying this place. Um, we have we have until November 30th to figure this out, and I think the last day or last weekend, Black Friday weekend, is going to be a really crazy one because we're going to just by seeing the traffic, even like yesterday we were busy nonstop. um, we finished at a little bit over $8,000. So not bad for a Sunday. We're only open from 11 to 5. So month to date, we're 85,000. Like I said, we have 1,762 sales. We have a um, $48 average sale price per sale, 7.5 items per sale, and then out of that, we've sold 4,152 clothes. Christmas, 1,664 items, and then a total for the month we've actually sent out 12,000 items from our store to customers purchasing at a 53% margin. So this is kind of like this isn't like the best scenario, but for being what we're doing is not bringing in new inventory, for being like on life support with just what we got, we're actually doing really good. And I'm really hoping that next month we do even better, because we only got one more month to stock up some cash to make up for December, January, and February, just ramping up. Today we're actually going to start our warehouse person processing or listing on eBay. So I'm going to show her what to do with that. And this time around, I'm going to focus heavily on making sure that I'm involved and available once we get to the new warehouse. I think the problem is now that we had was the eBay people that I hired. I would give them a rundown. I'd make sure that they understood the process, and then I'd kind of just let them go and just you know, be through their day by themselves and not really check up on them. I think that was a fail on my end. If I would have spent a little bit more time, I probably would have not had the issues that we're having with the sales. We do have weekly, we do have transactions on eBay that we have to either contact the buyer or cancel the order or spend a good amount of time looking for the item. And I think at the new location, an audit needs to be placed on our current inventory, make sure that we, stop that from happening consistently. And then going forward, I just need to make sure that um, my eBay lister is 100% accurate on everything and has a rundown. I mean, the good thing about eBay is it's more of a repetitive thing. You have to have the details to understand, like if something needs to be described properly. That's something that you'll learn over time if you don't have it right away. So that's what I got to watch. I got to watch all my items being listed, and I'm actually going to let the eBay person that I hired or my warehouse person, I'm going to let them actually list and make the item live. So a lot of trust in this person with um, the business. You know, the business is going to be in her hands, and I'm just going to have to just trust the fact that this time around it's going to be different with me being more available. So eBay sales, 11.7 to date, so 11,700 to date. Um, Basically, of that, I netted 6,500 because again, we're doing free shipping, and basically, when I list an item, I I look up the last solds and I put myself a little bit under the last sold, and it seems to be working out. But we do have over 1,500 items still listed, and what I need to do is every day from now until we leave that we're working, we need to be getting at least 40 or 50 listings up to start getting that funnel going, and to start messing with the algorithm with eBay to get it going in our favor. I'm a little bit concerned once we having gotten all those listings up, and then once we get going, the sales are going to hopefully increase, and we're probably like 10 a day, sometimes a little bit more, but we're about 10 a day sales. And I think what we need to be doing is the target is $1,000 a day net. So that means probably a little bit over um, $2,000 dollars, and then 1,000 net. So that's kind of like, to be right into it, that's a high number. I don't know if it's even possible. That's why we need that ramp up period. So yeah, so 3,000, no, 30.5 dollars per sale. So $30.54 per sale. And then we had 315 buyers. So not bad. 382 items, 315 buyers. That means that people are repeat buying, which is a good sign. I did rebrand my eBay store, the name. So everything's been rebranded. We're not going to follow or continue the store that we're doing now, the business name. We're going to keep that as an entity, but we're not going to keep the doing business as. So that's going to change, and I came up with um, a really good logo, a really good catchy name for my eBay store. So without further ado, we're going to go into the store. I'm going to give you guys a visual update. I'm actually going to flip the camera around because I want you guys to see better what's going on in here. We're going to just show the store after the weekend. Like I said, we had a really busy weekend. I think last week we did a little bit over 30,000 gross sales, and we haven't seen that number in a long time. So I'm hoping that this continues because I'm really happy with what I saw with the traction. A lot of customers walked in for the first time and they said, "Oh man, it's too bad that you're closing. Never even heard of this place." And that's like, over the weekend we heard that a lot. We didn't hear that from just one or two people. I mean, it was like every other person. So when we did the post, what was it, the press release, that sparked a lot of new buyers knowing about us, and I was really grateful for that because it was free advertising. There's a possibility we can run something in November just to kind of give people a wake up call. But the thing is when you're having a store, you need to understand that when you open, you need to have a press release. And basically what you need to do is see how that works out. And for me personally, if I would have done a press release back in the day when we opened and I saw traction, I would have basically immediately said to myself, this is going to work with this person or with this company advertising for us. So maybe we should just look into that and do something small in the beginning just to see. Because I can tell you right now, the last marketing company that I hired, um, they took us for a ride. They didn't do their what they promised, and basically it was like amateur hour with what we got and what we gave them. And basically with that, I don't understand how, when two people were in front of us when we sat down and talked about it, they acted like they were very interested in our business. But the second we signed a contract with them and the second we gave them money, It seemed like it was just like all smoke and mirrors with that conversation. And we even told them, say, hey, listen, you know, we don't really have a big budget, and this money really needs to go a far, you know, far for us. And basically what they gave us was um, just just beginners. The way I look at it is, if they were like a beginning like marketing company, they didn't have all the tools that they needed. They said that they did, but they weren't using any tools that they said that they would. So I mean, we were trying to get the main thing that we were going to do was the geofencing on our competitors and some of the bigger businesses in the area, just to capture that audience. And they said that they could do that, and they didn't show us 1 ounce of proof that that was even done. And that was the main reason why we signed up. And we said we want the majority of our budget to go into that specific vertical of marketing. And they basically just took our money and threw it into whatever the cheapest, anything that they could get into with advertising for us in the cheapest way possible. That's what they did. So they basically disregarded our request, promised us something that they did not deliver on, and basically every time that we had to get onto a call with them with a meeting, there was always an excuse, or you know, somebody wasn't available. We were promised, you know, one you know, conference a month to review everything, go over numbers, and see what was working and what wasn't. And I can tell you right now, guys, that did not happen. So yeah, the nerve of some businesses, that, you know, these people that take these jobs, they basically take it, they're not skilled at all. And what they do is they just they know how to talk, but they don't know how to perform. So that's one thing to watch out for, guys. Make sure that if you sign a marketing company, I mean, obviously, we could have done it ourselves. If I would have took that money that we went to a contract with, and actually hired an employee, I could have had somebody in my store 5 days a week doing probably 40, 50 times better than what they did for that money. So yeah, you just watch out for that. Honestly, I don't recommend marketing companies. I think that they're all just milking it off of other businesses. Their success is based on how well they can talk. Their success is not based on making a business that they're working for profitable. So there's my 2 bits on that. I can't flip over my screen, so but I'm going to show you guys. This is the Magnolia room. You know, we don't have a lot going on with what's available. There's an OLED back there, um, and I want to talk about that. So this was a club from our club contract. We got bait and switched on this, guys, and it says right here on the back of the TV, it's a LG C4 model. The box that they sent us was a C5. The SKU that was on the manifest was a C5. So we basically got screwed on last year's model with that OLED TV, and I didn't really know that it was switched. Normally, what we try to do, or what I try to tell people that are receiving my inventory, is to check the model number. We haven't really known that we had this problem, but basically they did the old switcheroo, and they made it look like we're getting something that we weren't. So yeah, I'm not really happy about that, guys, because that retail that we got charged on, or 30%, it was on last year's model. So there's one club item that I can show you just right in this room that we got screwed on. Now, keep in mind, guys, you know, it's a liquidation industry. This is the game that's played. But when a company knowingly sells you and manifests something that's different than what it gives you, something that's different on the manifest, that's some shady stuff. And that's part of the reason why this business, I'm glad to be getting out of retail, because I don't want to be dealing with that on top of having an overhead like I do. Um, because, you know, we're going to sit here and promise things to our customers, and then we're going to find out later that we promised something that was the wrong model at a price that was, you know, that we sold the item at. That's a huge liability, guys. So all right, so here we go. Air conditioners. This is what's left over. All this area over here. I don't think any of this is going to move before we close out. So that's going to probably have to come with us. So now I have to start taking taking counts on the pallets that are going to come with us. We only have 4,300 square feet, so it's going to be pretty tight. Here's our heaters. The heaters are moving. They're moving pretty good. Not fast enough, but I mean, again, we still got another month and a couple days of selling. The air conditioners, portable ones, I sold a few of those. We did get an order of flooring over the weekend, so I got to place that this morning. Here's what Christmas looks like. It's starting to thin out a little bit, but we still have tons of these prismatic trees. Currently, we're doing 15% off of the Christmas, which brings the prismatic trees down to $90.09. And we still got 2, 4, 5, 6 of them. I got one in the back, so we have 7 of them. So I got to figure something out with that. Here's the ornaments, and it looks like. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It just flipped around. I'm trying to figure out this gimbal, guys. It's not that friendly. I wish that I just had one that wasn't. Wish I had one that wasn't so so it seems like it just likes to move a lot. So here's some of those candlelight things. This area right here is kind of thinned out. We do have a lot of stuff for like $1, $3, so that's not really thinning out. We still have a ton of inventory that we need to figure out here, and Wednesday we're gonna keep the 15% for another week. We're talking about doing a 15% off the whole sale, but I haven't really committed to that 100% just because I know that we're going to be closing November 30th, but I feel like it might be a little bit too early. I want a couple more heavy hitters to leave. I mean, we have tons of lights. Cereal is almost, this is down to what we got left. There's nothing more in the back, so that's good. I did go ahead and, I mean, you guys are going to notice a lot of changes. We cleaned up the place a lot. If you take this video and compare it to the last video, you'll see like the cereal that wasn't something. This is some stuff from the back that we're pulling out. We'll go back there pretty soon. But yeah, that's that little gondola. Here's the trees. So as you can see, the piles are getting low. We were thinking about in the beginning selling the trees as a truckload for like $6,000 or $7,000. I still haven't made the sales to hit that number. So, but the thing is this is bringing a lot of customers. They've been digging through the trees. I mean, this place is trashed. Some people have been getting some really good deals because there was some few premium trees in there that people got like really dirt cheap. And that's the fun of it, because what happened with that is a lot of the people that are buying trees were referring us, and that's what we needed. So when the customers came in and saw that they scored a good deal, they told their friends, and then their friends came in. So I got these Santa stands here, Santa's last stand. Those are live Christmas tree stands. Those are gonna have to be like this week. I'm gonna have to figure out calling a couple tree places to see if I can move that in a bulk purchase. We got these Greenworks 24 volt snow shovels that come with 2 batteries for $150. Once we drop that sale to the whole store, those are gonna be like $127.50, which is kind of cheap. But I think I want to say we got like 8 of them or 10 of them left. This is what's left of the summer stuff. We sold the last inflatable water park. We got a lot of these water slides. We do have a bounce house, and then we do have 2 of these pool surfers. These were going to be slated for eBay, but we're going to try to put them out here. I don't think that that's going to sell because of the price, because a lot of our customers are price conscientious right now. Our clothing bins are still looking kind of full still. I mean, as you can see, these got a lot of clothes in them. When we dropped the price of the clothing, Hopefully we see these things, because this is where the majority of our money's sitting. You know, look at this. This is all one size, small, and then we got some extra small. These are these Hurley things. They're like Sherpa zip ups, quarter zips. That's another thing too. So there's another club load miss, when you're getting high quantities of the sizes that customers don't want to buy. That's all the leftovers, guys. So we're running the show with all these clothes, a lot of leftovers. There's a lot of summer stuff in here. This is all like kids and adult sleepwear. This pile was actually pretty big before we listed this to our customers. And then here's a big giant mess. Somebody came in and ripped through all of our jeans and made a huge mess. And I just don't understand the customers that do that. We're down to one desktop, all on one computer. We're down to one Chromebook. I do have 3 computers that are admin locked that I got from my club store. One's a desktop, display, and then the other 2 are laptops that are a display, and they have a pin in them that I asked one of the guys from the store that was the warehouse guy that used to help me load things, if he can give me the pin. He never got back to me. I was also thinking, well, we were thinking about going over to their in person with the computers and just handing it to them and just say, hey, you know, you don't have to give us the pin, but can you at least unlock it? Because I have, you know, at least $700 worth of sales that are being held up because of a 4-digit code. So when you guys do your, you know, where you enter into a contract with a local club store, keep in mind that's going to happen to you. Keep in mind the broken TVs, you know, the used small appliances, all the used and broken items that people return, because it's a club store and they offer that return policy. We got a lot of that stuff, guys, and I wish I just had a huge pile of it just to show you how much money I lost due to that. I mean, here's a pool that was part of like a recall. The picture shows the one that's not recalled, but I can guarantee you inside that box is the one that was recalled, and they did the swap. They switched it. So back here, let me just back up a little bit. This is the back processing area. As you can see, it looks pretty clean and organized. What we did back here is we are starting to stage the inventory that we're bringing with us. Right there, there's 2 pallets of shoes. That's going to be listed on eBay. That's an eBay pallet right there, that watermelon filled with stuff. When I was telling you about the club stuff, what are you getting? Here's a mismatched shoe, guys. Here's a whole cart of mismatched shoes. This is just what I have out here. I can tell you right now there's a lot more. But look at this, Adidas. All the wrong size, maybe the same size. There is a demand for single shoes for people that only have 1 foot or 1 leg or whatever. I have sold them in the past, so we're going to try that route. This is all inventory that we're taking with us. These 6 pallets. We have 3 more right there, 3 behind it. Those are empty. Yeah, so 3 right there, and then 3 right there are empty. This is the table that we're processing all the onesie twosies. This is all another one of those. All these swim shoes, guys, 1 size. You want that club contract? Think about that pile right there. What am I going to do with that? Look at how much capital sitting right there. These are all like single items. Maybe missing maybe missing pieces. Here's another thing too, guys. See all these sheet sets? Where's the tag that says what size it is? How am I supposed to sell that? There's no labels that say what size it is. So you want that club contract? Why don't you think about that pile right there? Those just couple piles I just showed you. I had to recycle those two 77-inch OLEDs, so that took a little bit over 2 hours out of two different occasions that I had to drive that over there. So half an hour each way. Then I had to wait in line. Then I had to prove residency, and then they let me recycle them. So here's some more TVs, guys, from that club contract. There's 4 of them actually, broken screens. Those are going to come with me next year, unless I want to pay to get them disposed of. I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I can always get more stuff over there. So here's the dumpster. See that box right there? You can't really see it, but let me see if I can get closer. Those are those N95 masks, guys. There's 7 pallets that we threw away over the weekend. I have 9 more. I put one out and I was giving them away for free, and a lot of people were taking them, so that's good. So, half that dumpster is filled with N95 masks. It would have been a full dumpster, hopefully, that we could have got into there. But now, since I'm being a little bit smarter with, it's not really being smarter, it's just having time to do it. This aisle here, if you guys remember, this was that aisle that was blocked off. Last Saturday, we busted a move all day, and we cleared all this out. We took some pallets down from up here. All these pallets up here. There was 17 of them up there. We took the pallets down of the N95s to throw them away, and then I put the empty watermelons up there. Those are all empty watermelons that were staged up, ready to go. When we're ready to move, we're going to pack up everything that's left over. Hopefully there's going to be nothing left over. But that's another thing too, is what do I do with those watermelons? Unless I have a whole truckload of them, it's going to be really hard to sell them individually. So that's going to be another pain in the butt. There's a lot of things, guys, that, like when you're closing a store, you got to figure out where all the stuff's going to go. These are, this row right here, this used to be a double row. It used to be a complete disaster. We got a single row. If I need to get up there, it's easier just to move a couple pallets so I can get the forklift in. But, I got all my vanity tops out now. These, I pulled them out. Yesterday, actually, on Sunday when we were slam busy, I was actually going through everything in like 4 different spots and reorganizing everything, checking what was in it, labeling it, pricing it, posting. Yesterday was a really busy day. I got a lot done. Today I'm kind of beat because all that work I was doing was no one was helping me. So there's like a medicine cabinet. I was able to organize all of my vessel sinks. I have all these are all undermount sinks. I did make a post, so hopefully we start selling those. This is a whole pallet of top mount sinks. I talked about those earlier in one of my videos. Those don't sell on eBay. I did sell 3 total, and they've been listed for months. So that's the thing, guys. You buy these, and that was from our home improvement store load. Every load that we got from our kitchen and bath came with a handful of those, and actually one of them came with over a dozen. And then I think we have over 30 and besides the ones I've thrown away and besides the ones I've donated. So yeah, so if you want these contracts, guys, you got to figure out where you're going to put all this stuff, how you're going to sell all this stuff. You can't run a store closing sale while you're open to bring in the customers like we had to do, to get our stuff sold. So you have to price stuff right. You have to pick and choose your battles with what your margin you want to make. Look at this right here. This is from the weekend. Customers checking trees, just leaving them. There's 2, 4, 5. There's 5 trees just sitting on the ground right there that somebody couldn't, put back. But who cares? Like you're closing, right? So that's what the customers are probably thinking. You're closing, so why should I put in the effort? So, um, and that's the disgusting part. Getting you know having to clean up after people. I mean, this is a pallet right here that we laid out yesterday, free, and I was encouraging people to take cases, and people were just taking one box, and I'm like, no, you gotta help me out. If I'm giving these to you for free, take the whole box. Stuff like that. Um, here's another situation here. These are scent beads that I purchased they were delivered for like $80.52 per bucket. I got them for $75, guys, and they're still not selling. So that guy who said, "Oh yeah, scent beads, this and that, made in USA, they're good stuff." I actually had feedback from customers that were saying that you know, it wasn't like the stuff they would buy in the store. And I'm like, well, now that my price is where it's at, if you got to use a little bit more to make the scent work for you, what's wrong with that? I think we're at like $4 a pound when you buy a 5-pound bag. So actually that customer was pretty cool. He just said, I just use more, whatever. Um, so that customer was cool, but like the other customers, somebody's going to say, oh, well, I had to use a ton of it. Well, how much is it in store and how much did you buy from me for? And I can guarantee you, yeah, you had to scoop a little bit more, but how do you know? There's no measurements on it. So how do you know that you're using more, So, but I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just gonna just ramble on this thing because we haven't really talked in a while, and I haven't made a video, so I'm just trying to go through some stuff. I'm trying to give you guys the reality of discount store ownership, um, all the problems that come with it. Mainly the inventory. Is the inventory clean? Is it cheap? Are you making margin? Are you sitting on stuff? Where's your capital being spent with your business? As it's being spent solely on inventory, which you should be doing, or are you paying more money in labor than you should be? And that's kind of like the questions I should have been asking myself throughout this um situation. Hey, your labor costs are pretty high, versus what's making you money. And that's the thing, like when you're so busy, how do you manage all that? you know um Even with 2 people running the show, it was still a pain in the butt. Um, that's the things that you guys got to be asking yourself. How big do you want to be? And in my opinion, I'd say as small as you can for the longest time that you can. I mean, look at this. This is a whole area of pallets that we got to go through. There's a lot of mismatched stuff in there. There's a lot of grills that are incomplete, damaged. I haven't been able to get through all that. We're gonna save all that to the end because honestly, the priority is to get our store set up for when we close to move everything. And then what's to say that in December I couldn't make a big pile in the middle and just quickly go through it all with nothing in the way, for me to look at everything individually. That's what I'm hoping. So yeah, I'm gonna do one more walk through an area. We're gonna talk about the eBay area. I did clean that up a little bit one day. I decided that big mess on my shipping table was too long in the making. So we kind of cleaned up some stuff, made some more space. Yeah, it's a disaster back here. But yeah, here we go right there. I do have like 11 orders to fill today. Some of this stuff is still a mess right here. And then we got a little bit of a backlog just because I'm not having a lot of people listing for me right now. So this is backlog. I want to say I got about a truckload of backlog right now, not including all the overstock that I have that's being with the Skechers. Yeah, we got like a backlog of about a truckload. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to list that, because a majority of that's clothing, and I think there was like 12 or 14 watermelons of clothing, just solely clothing. And that's not going to count anything that we don't sell, guys, because what I'm planning on doing is, when we get to the new location and we get settled in, I'm planning on probably getting my Whatnot channel going again, and just burn through that inventory, and then get some more cash, because that's going to be the biggest threat to us in the next stage, is hitting the actually, I think in the beginning it's 47,000 net we need to make. Right now, our overhead is I think 70,000. And once you take out all the labor that we dropped, take out all the contracts, we're at like $70,000 to keep the doors open here. The new place is gonna be 47,000. Now in 6 months, that's gonna drop, and we're hoping that once we cash everything out in this location, we can pay off 1 or 2 loans, and then hopefully that can give us like maybe like a $9,000 a month relief on 2 loans that we got. And then once that happens, I think that we're as long as we can get through like the next 4 months, I think 3 or 4 months, I think once all that stuff kind of catches up and then we kind of get everything listed, my hope is, between me and the other person, we can list at least 100 items a day. And to me, that would be ideal. And what I might want to do is just, I saw another YouTube guy talking about eBay, talking about listing 90 or drafting 90 a day, only putting 60 live during the week, and on the weekend, the leftovers that he didn't make live, make those live on Saturday and Sunday. So that means 7 days of listing, 60 a day, will be consistent. And I guess that guy's doing 4,500 or no, so 45,000 a month. Yeah, I think he said he's doing 45,000 a month. And so to me, that would be a best practice that would be relevant to me, that I'm going to look into. So we're gonna try to do something like that. But like I say, if it's gonna be 100 a day, and maybe only making 60 go live, and then maybe on the weekends, maybe making a little bit more, or just having like a backup just in case there's one day that we can't list. But again, what we're gonna do is, it's gonna be 2 of us. We're gonna have to figure out, on the days, maybe just do something where one person packs and the other person lists, and then just do an alternate, because the eBay burn, they call it, when you keep going and going and going. I gotta make sure that I don't create that environment where it's exhausting. So we need to figure out a system where, I mean, because look, guys, these are big numbers that we're trying to reach here. This is not your, I got a job and I'm going to do eBay on the side. When you have $47,000 a month, and you know that's to keep the doors open, you got to hustle. That's a lot of transactions. That's a lot of hard work. And then even with this building, this was $1 million a year operation just to keep open. So let that sink in. You're gonna go to work every day knowing that your business is gonna make $1 million, and you're not gonna make a penny out of it in your own pocket, which basically happened to us. Tell me how long you're gonna stay motivated to continue to do that. So we've been keeping motivated. We've been putting out whatever fires that we could to keep this thing going. And I could have just said at the end, I give up. This is too much debt. It ain't going to happen, but we're going to push through. And next year is going to be the biggest year that I've had personally in my life of success, I think, because I'm 10 times more driven than I was when I started this business. And to be able to run an operation like this for as long as we have, and then to not really fail, but not really succeed, It's kind of like a little bit in between. And then to not give up. There's the story right there, guys. And all you brokers are out there watching this. This is the hustle that we endure. We don't give up. Some of us may, some of us don't, but we don't give up because we're built for this. And there are not a lot of people that can say that. A lot of people just take that 9 to 5 job and work for somebody else, and when it gets hard, they shut down and they say, you know what, somebody else is going to take care of that problem. Not here. When you're self-employed and you have a resale business, the hustle's real. And people like us, they're not everywhere. So when you see people like us reaching out to you and saying, hey, I need inventory, find out what the story is before passing judgment and putting your blacklist on there and then saying how we're wasting your time and all that stuff that you guys like to do. The way that I look at this, guys, all y'all that are out there dissing resellers and thinking that you're better than everybody, until you can get into our shoes. And some of you may have stores and some of you may be killing it, but are you killing it because you're taking all the good inventory and selling the rest of it off to people like us, or are you killing it because you're actually putting in the work and keeping putting in the work? And then maybe being a broker is a side hustle, just to keep the inventory coming into you, and you're being fair about it. You're not cherry picking the inventory. You're giving somebody else a way to succeed. So that's my question. How many of you out there are ripping people off, or how many of you out there are actually doing the hustle? Because personally, I don't get a lot of vibes on a lot of brokers that are like that. I mean, I've met a couple of them. There's a couple of them that I respect pretty good because I can tell that they're actually doing the right thing. But then there's a lot of them out there that they're the ones why this industry is going the wrong way. And if you're one of those people that are making fast money off of other people's failing and closing up shop, then your time is probably not going to be much longer, because there's going to be more people coming into this business as the years go by, if this industry is sustainable. And the way that I look at this, guys, I have mixed feelings about, is this industry sustainable, just because of all the crookedness is going on. And I can tell you right now, anytime you get into a scenario where there's a lot of shady stuff going on right now, like this industry has, you got to really think about if that's something you want to get involved with. Because when you're talking how much money is involved with this business, there's a lot of money. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of scum that join in just to take a piece of that where it doesn't belong to them. But there's also a lot of hard workers and people doing the right thing. I mean, if you came to my location for a week straight and talked to every customer that came in the door, and found all those customers that are existing customers that are repeat buyers, ask them how much money they've saved buying from us, those are the ones that I appreciate. I don't appreciate the ones that come in my store and trash my place and talk me down. I mean, there was a guy over the weekend that had the audacity to tell me, oh yeah, I'm going to bring all my friends, give me a deal. I gave him a deal on one thing, I gave him a deal on another thing, and then he came out to me every 5 minutes with a $5 item, asking it for like $2 or $3. Get out of my store, man. I don't care to sell to you, because you're not the customer that I want. But the customers that I want are the ones that come back, and even if they have nothing that they need and they just want to come here and just show their support, those are the customers that you want. I don't care if one of my existing customers that is a regular comes in here and doesn't buy anything. It's seeing them coming in the door. They know that I'm doing the right thing. Those are the customers that I want. Not the guy who wants to get a t-shirt for $3 or $2 and not see the value that I'm giving him when I just marked down $100 item to $40 for him before the sale even started. That's the crap. And then I can go on. I can do a whole show, a whole episode on those types of customers, guys. But I'm going in every direction, because I'm telling you guys, this is how it is. This is the real deal. You got to learn something or another from other people, And for me to have this channel and show how it is, I'm just making sure that if you're thinking about starting a discount store in the liquidation industry, you better make sure that you have all your little areas that you think that you do know about 100% in lockdown, and make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. So yeah, 45 minutes. Sorry, a little bit longer this time. Keep in mind there hasn't been a video for 10 days. I had a lot on my mind, had a lot to say. A lot of stuff has happened. Again, we're going to try to continue this when we get to the new location. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more time for me to do videos in the morning. I'm going to get a system going. We just have a little bit more time, guys, until then. So just bear with me. There's a lot of stuff that's good that's coming, and a lot of struggles, a lot of wins, a lot of insight on the business. I mean, when I start talking numbers, you guys are going to be like, "Holy cow, look at that!" And then from a garage, that's what the story is here, guys. How do you how do you within 5 years go from a garage to $1 million overhead back to a warehouse? How do you do it? Well, stick around and you'll see. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, put some comments in there. Have a great day.